I escaped a death cult. Ask me anything. Not dropping names or anything out of respect for the dead, but it was a cult called the Eyes of Light. It was based in the Bayou in Louisiana. My family got brainwashed and joined the cult when I was very young, so I never knew any different. The cult has roughly 50 or so members. I'm calling it a death cult because certain members went missing and were forced into a van, and when the van returned the members were covered in blood and we had to do hours of silent praying for their soul. I escaped after one of the elders beat me the near death for refusing to submit as his personal slave for sinning. I ran into the woods, or bayou depending on who you ask, and came across a highway where some guys saw me beaten and bloody and took me to the hospital and called the cops. I told my story and even the cops didn't believe me, thinking I was some runaway. They tried to contact my parent, obviously to no results, and kept me in a foster home where I stayed until I was 18 and kicked out. I did manage to get a job during that time, so I was able to live out of a hotel for a while, and now here I am on my 21st B-day drinking my first legal beer. Since you escaped, have you tried to do anything else to bring the cult down? Do you plan to? Do you know anything about your family members who are still in the cult? Kinda. I told my friends at the car shop my story. Them being tough-ass rednecks decided to go out there and try to save my parents and get revenge on the elder who beat me, but they got up and moved because after several hours of searching we finally found the actual location, but they all left, and what seems to be in a hurry since a lot of the stuff was left behind. For some odd reason I broke down crying the second we went into the house, then a great joy came over it. I could never fully explain it, but a lot of horrible flashbacks showed up. And no, I haven't had any contact except for a letter my dad sent me that was just his signature and the letters L.E.O. on it. Your story sounds terrifying and difficult. What supports do you have to help guide you into life outside? Have you had any communication with your friends or family you left behind? What's next for you? I wasn't allowed in the foster home between 8 a.m. and 6 a.m. except on Sunday, so days I didn't work I mainly just walked the streets and started volunteering, where I met a guy from a local church who I told my story to, and he helped me get my GED and trade school degree. I received a letter from my dad with just his signature on it and the letter L.E.O. written on it, and I can't figure out what it means. I got a job as a car mechanic right now. That's absolutely awful. Christ, I didn't know our state had such horrible cults. I'm so sorry. From my understanding, cults are really dying out. I went to LSU and talked to a professor about it because he had some good knowledge on cults, and maybe he can translate the letter, but to no avail. According to him, cults are dying out, and the ones that are running around the bayou today are just kids playing with voodoo dolls and reading books they got for voodoo shops. I see you mentioned you still follow Christianity. Did the cult have any real Bibles? Like, is the written word all the same and their interpretation of it was overboard? Or did they embellish the Bible and now that you have escaped you can read the real one? Help me understand if they were using the same teachings and just interpreting it in a horrible way. How does it feel now to understand a non-cult sense of religion? They took a lot of Bible verses way out of context. Happy birthday. Is there anything you were surprised about out of the cult? I have a friend who escaped a cult and was surprised that short shorts existed. They never had a reference for shorts, other than underwear, let alone short shorts. I guess I was kinda the same way. Like at the shop they were talking about strip clubs and I was like, you mean to tell me girls willingly show their bodies? What was your worst memory in the cult? This is gonna sound cliche, but the entire time was pure hell. I just always thought if I put up with the abuse God would repay me. When did it suddenly click for you that you needed to escape? What else are you supposed to do when you're getting beat with a PVC pipe for not wanting to be a slave to an old man after you were caught with a morning erection? During the process of the police attempting to contact your parents, was there ever any more effort put into investigating the cult? Did they eventually believe you? Not really. They drove me out to where the guys found me and I tried to retrace me steps, but the cops got scared of wildlife or getting lost too. They called it off. What did he mean by personal slave? I started watch Prison Break, so I'm assuming he would treat me like Bag did. Thank you for watching the video. If you're new, please be sure to subscribe, like and turn on post notifications so you never miss an upload. Post your own stories in the comments down below.